So I just finished watching the Chainsaw Man anime that came out in the last year or two. I don't know exactly when it came out, but it's been super popular and has blown up. There's one season out. Basically binge watched the whole thing. My friend Tony hooked me up with this Crunchyroll account to be able to watch it. So much love, Tony. But I saw this video called basically This is Chainsaw Man and thought it would be a fun video to take a look at.
Everyone's talking about this new Chainsaw Man. Let's see what this show's all about.
Let's see what it's about.
What the fuck did I walk into? Chainsaw Man.
When that part happened right at the beginning, I was like, okay, what is this show gonna be?
Easily the most anticipated new anime to come out all year. The show that we weren't ready for, that would come down and grace us, showing us peasants once and for all what good anime is. So, how hard...
100%. When I went into this anime, I'm gonna tell you what, man. The first little bit of it, I was like, this is gonna be weird. Like, this guy has chainsaws coming out of his body. But man, as it gets going, it just gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. It was a really good series, in my opinion. So I'm probably gonna be super biased during this video because I thoroughly enjoyed the series and cannot wait for the next season.
Yeah, pretty hard. As expected, it's taken over the community by storm, and with all this extra attention comes the extra scrutiny. After just one episode was out, already all the doubters banded together. Experts and scientists poured in thousands of man-hours to collectively construct the perfect critique. Confident that their words would be so severe, the Chainsaw Man fandom would be put in their place and the whole anime community would see the error of their ways. Here's what they came up with. Chainsaw Man fans have still not recovered to this day. But do the haters have a point? Did the anime live up to the expectations it built? Did everyone overhype it?
See, here's the great thing about me. Let me tell you, this is what you need to do in life, all right? Let me help you. Don't follow hype. If you don't know the hype, everything instantly becomes better. I had no idea what the hype was with Chainsaw Man. I just heard after a while that everybody was watching this anime series, and I was like, oh, I should check it out. If everybody else is watching it, it must be semi-good. I knew no hype around it. So I went in with zero expectations. So for me, it was a great series.
What's the deal with Chainsaw Man? It's no secret that I'm already a big fan of the author, so external factors aside, I was already hyped as hell. Chainsaw Man was meant to be his magnum opus, taking everything he's learned from previous works and perfecting it. Chainsaw Man was meant to be the outlier of Shonen Jump, doing things its own way. Chainsaw Man starts off like a pretty standard shonen. You could be forgiven for getting a slight feeling of deja vu watching a spunky teenager on the brink of death making a contract with the devil to gain devil powers, only to be picked up by an organization that hunts said devils under the pretense that they can keep an eye on him and won't kill him as long as he's assisting in hunting other devils. Then we find out there's this super strong devil that they have to hunt by looking for his body parts, which is really risky because like any devil who's consumed some of those body parts is a super strong S-tier devil, and you're like,
wait a minute.
This is just Jujutsu Kaisen again. But that's where the similarities end. Chainsaw Man is a typical shonen in the same way that Stephen King's It is a children's show about a funny-looking clown. It is brutal, disgusting, raw. It is metal as It pushes the edge of what it even means to be a shonen action show in the first place. You look at some of these scenes, you see what these characters do, and you think, that's not what Goku would do. When we first meet Denji, he is, what's the technical term for this again? A broke-ass bitch. Due to some unfortunate circumstances, he lives every day just to survive. Drowned in debt, a bottom dweller of society, he sold his left eye, a kidney, one of his nuts. Yes, his nuts. Just to scrape by, living on a slice of bread a day. I mean, good lord. But this immediately sets the tone for just what kind of world the Demon Slayer, my hero. These are worlds where some pretty hardcore shit can happen if you lay it out on paper, yet somehow everyone seems to have come out squeaky clean. Tanjiro had almost his entire family brutally murdered, and yet he's still like, oh, I'm gonna be a good boy. I'm gonna be the best boy. I'm gonna empathize with all the demons. I'm gonna make the world a good place. Bitch, you saw your mother's bloody corpse. How are you more mentally stable than me, remembering I got my...
That was a good series too, but yes.
My tax return's due in 2 months. Shonen protagonists have always been about preaching that good moral. Work hard, train hard, be a good person, aspire to be something great. Everything that Denji isn't. The man's been through hell and just wants to live in mild comfort while copping the casual feel along the way. He doesn't have any grand aspirations. He doesn't want to fight.
these episodes started and all he was worried about was like copping a feel and getting his first kiss and having sex for the first time, the wife was like, what the heck are you watching? And I was like, babe, Dart. It was like just this dude that did not give a fuck about being a good guy. He just wanted to fucking continue being able to not be poor again and actually eat good food, and that was all he cared about, and copping the occasional feel.
Fight for what is right. He's not the honorable, innocent, safe protagonist we've gotten used to. While Goku is out there being like, Cell, I want you to power up to your final form so we can have a fair and honorable fight. Denji's here like, finishing move, delete bloodline. Well, that's the thing that. Well, that's the thing that makes him interesting. Okay, Denji, I think you can stop now. I think he's learned his lesson. Oh God, Denji, no, this is not the way. Denji, God, please, Denji, for the love of God. But that's the thing that sets him apart and makes him interesting, and this is something that's pervasive.
It does make it interesting because he's not that like. It does.
Throughout every single cast member in Chainsaw Man. Wouldn't you agree, Aki? Yeah, I totally agree. Everyone here stands out from the typical characters.
Also, this guy's funny. Giguk. I've never heard of him, but if you check out his channel, Gigguk, he's funny.
You see, and I'm not talking about in that usual anime way. You know, sometimes you watch these animes and you see these characters that are like, look at me, I'm so quirky. Look at this weird thing I do. Isn't it so weird? Aren't I so weird and quirky? I'm not like other anime characters. And then their super weird quirk turns out to be something like, look at me, I sit funny. People in Chainsaw Man are just actually weird. Like, I don't know, puking in a guy's mouth and then he swallows it and then you try to sleep with him 5 hours later. Everyone here has a few screws loose, but it never comes at the expense of their character. All too often in anime, we see these characters that are distinguished by their weird quirks, and even if they have some depth to them, it always comes off as cartoonish, the anime-esque we've all gotten accustomed to. And one thing I gotta give props for is, despite how batshit insane these guys are, they all still feel like people. Everyone is just broken in some way, like they're all missing a different piece to make them normal. They're not cartoonish, they're just weird, and that absolutely works. The dynamics,
It's 100% true though. It does 100% work. I mean, they all just seem to like have something wrong with them, but it seems like something wrong that a normal human would have wrong with them. Like, it's not like he said, like that cartoony, over the top. I mean, the stuff is over the top that they have wrong with them, but it's like somehow it's believable. Like it's presented in a way that makes it make sense. It makes you think like, oh, this could totally be an issue someone would have. Like getting so drunk that you end up flirting with a guy and then puking in his mouth. That's disgusting as I don't know anybody that has ever had that happen to them, but it's believable. I could see that happening. Somewhere in the world, it's probably happened to somebody.
the antics, the banter, the cast is just so entertaining together.
And also, the two main characters, or the girl that he works with that's pictured here, the synergy between them and the synergy between the character design was phenomenal. Like, it worked 100% with them. 100%.
Together. Like, there's a scene where a bunch of devil hunters are trapped in this building, possibly for an eternity, waiting for death. One of them has a panic attack. One of them starts freaking out and goes full yandere. They're laughing at each other. Denji falls asleep. Two of them decide now's the best time to pick up smoking. Power starts spouting off that she's going to be prime minister and raise the sales tax to 100%. And I'm sitting here being like, what the f*** am I watching? Chainsaw Man could be a...
The whole time you are like, what the f*** am I watching? But it just, oh my God, it grows. Again, I'm biased. I'm admitting that 100%, but it like grows on you. The longer you watch it, like you are like, what the f is this? A lot of times. But then the more you watch it, the more you're like, this is good.
Sitcom and it would still work. It's like watching the cast of Always Sunny if they were stars of a shonen action show. Are they assholes? Yeah. Would you be friends with them? Probably a bad idea. Is it just hella entertaining to see how they operate in the situations they find themselves in?
Yes.
It's all great stuff, even if the structure is a bit reminiscent to previous shonens we've seen. That is until this guy shows up, and that's when things really start revving up. This is the moment when Chainsaw Man really starts showing its true colors. Within a space of 20 minutes, it shifts from first gear straight to fifth gear, looks you dead in the eye and goes, "You stupid." Did you really think you knew where this was going? You feel like a dumbass for forgetting the type of world this all takes place in. It is a cruel, ruthless place where your entire life can change in one instance, one bad experience, one unlucky encounter. There are no second chances and villains aren't fucking around here, and just as you start to think, damn, these bad guys are pretty damn scary, Makima is then like... Only when you...
100% accurate. You're like, what the f? I thought the bad guys were bad. These good guys are crazy.
Start to fear the bad guys, you see that the good guys are even more terrifying, and you don't know what to believe. Who's good? Who's evil? What's really going on? More questions emerge while nothing gets answered, and you realize the only thing you really knew is that you didn't know a damn thing. This was the Chainsaw Man I expected. Tatsuki Fujimoto is and never has been a by-the-books guy. It's like he lulled us into a false sense of security, then was like, alright, you've had your fun now, I'm die.
Thank you, whoever.
The more episodes I watch, the faster I click on the next episode button, and my only gripe is that it feels
That's exactly it too. Like I said, the more you watch, the bit like it's like you watch the first episode and it's like, okay, that was weird. Kind of like a lot of other animes, you know, with a teenage guy that's becoming a hero. I just got done re-binge watching Bleach right before this, so it's like, okay, a guy that all of a sudden gets powers. Now he's gonna help everybody, help all the world. And the same thing, like Bleach, he like was so different than all the other Soul Reapers because he also cared about the well-being of like the Hollows and stuff and wanted everybody to pass on peacefully. But then you watch another episode and it's like, okay. Then you watch another step and it's like, okay. Then you watch the next episode and you're like, okay, this is good. And you're like, next one. And before you know it, 10 hours later, you've watched the whole season.
It's like we've only just begun. 12 episodes feels brazenly short for the story that Chainsaw Man has set up, which begs the question, am I just going to read ahead in the manga? No. Because what I'm doing is watching the anime, then reading the manga. Yeah, that's right. You heard that correctly. I'm reading the manga second. How does that make you feel, manga readers? Does that make you feel uncomfortable?
It pisses them off, but I like it. I'm gonna watch the animes and never read the mangas.
See? Maybe I'll mix it up. Maybe I'll read a few chapters ahead and then let the anime catch up. Maybe I'll read chapter 70 out of context. Maybe I'll just translate it all into Braille and consume it that way. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. Anime is just my medium of choice. There's nothing that will replace Kensuke Ushio's hypnotic, mesmerizing soundtrack, the stellar animation, or the voice acting that bring the chemistry these characters have to life.
猫よ、さらうなんてよ。デビルハンターとして許せねえ。
Impressive. Very nice.
Nice. Listen, if you're not watching anime in its native tongue, native language, with English subs, and you're a filthy animal doing English dubs, which admittedly I do once in a while, you're a piece of watch it with English subs, read it, and hear the original voices. It's so much better than these people that dub over and do the English language over it, and it sounds fake.
Demonio de mierda. Secuestraron Gatito. Como Devil Hunter, no lo puedo dejar pasar.
But there are a few manga artists out there like Tatsuki Fujimoto, and after reading what the anime has covered, yeah, he's a genius, alright? Only so rarely do you find someone who has such mastery of the page. Here is a man who knows how to use manga to its fullest potential, which he does consistently. If you're someone who's never really thought about layout, paneling, or page composition, I implore you to read any one of his works and you'll immediately realize, oh, that's why it matters. I know this because I never did until I could see how masterfully it could be used. The work he's put into Chainsaw Man, the way he uses manga to convey ideas and feelings is something that would be impossible to translate into another medium. And so it doesn't, but what nuance it loses, it makes up for by adding its own. The anime takes its own approach in telling the story. Colors are more muted, characters look more realistic. It slows everything down, not to pad out the runtime, but just so you have time to get absorbed into this beautiful world. And this has made some of the more dramatic—
Dude, the graphics in this were top notch. It was beautiful. It was beautiful illustrative work. Oh, gorgeous.
moments hit even harder. It doesn't just reference cinema, it doesn't just look cinematic, it feels cinematic. Almost as if this is an anime original production, not taking its material from a manga. I mean, just look at something like this.
Got it.
I love how it feels like this devil was just deleted from existence, like it's what only an eerie, outerworldly creature can do. And it was just such a subtle thing that could only be conveyed in anime form. It really seems like the team have put so much thought into the visual storytelling. There are no lazy camera angles, no throwaway shots, and instead of trying to replicate what the manga has done, they've asked themselves, what is something that only we could do? They added a 2-minute scene of Aki getting ready in the morning, and it is so beautifully calming that gives us a glimpse of who Aki is that was never in the manga. This is some Makoto Shinkai.
I don't know about the manga, because again, I don't really read mangas or whatever, but when this scene finished, I remember this scene, and when it finished, you just felt like, oh, this is who this guy is. He, like, all this crazy shit that's happening around him, all this stuff with the demons and everything, all these fights he has to get into. But at his nature, this is who he is. This guy that just wants to live peacefully and have a calm life and not have all the craziness, but he somehow has gotten dragged into all the craziness.
High level of vibes that
really
absolutely did not need to be done, which shows that someone there gives a shit. And this isn't even mentioning how good of a job they're doing with the animation. When people think good animation, they see a pretty fight scene and they think, oh, now this is good animation. Wait, 10 frames of CG? Unwatchable. But what they can gloss over is that 17 other minutes of anime in that anime. Chainsaw Man simply looks breathtaking in almost every single frame. Fight scenes aside, there is no reason why walking animation needs to look this goddamn smooth, or backgrounds look so spectacular, or hand-holding scenes should awaken something in me.
指の長さはどれくらい？手のひらは冷たい？
And you know what? I'll say it. The CG doesn't even look bad. I think the real reason it stands out at points is just because of how goddamn spectacular everything else looks. Which experience is better? I don't know, whatever medium you bloody prefer. Why not both? You have two separate versions, two separate styles, two separate approaches to telling this fantastic story in a way that utilizes their own medium to its highest potential instead of one trying to emulate the other. And I can't even begin to tell you how rare of an occurrence this is. Which is why it blows my mind when I see complaints that this scene doesn't look exactly how it does in the manga, or this isn't how the manga depicted this one thing. We have a chocolate cake and a chocolate ice cream in front of us, and people are unhappy that it's not the exact same flavor of chocolate. And I'm like, bro, you have a delicious ice cream and cake right in front of you. Why are you complaining?
Nice cake.
Chainsaw Man is setting up for the series fans said it would be, and it hit the jackpot of having an anime production this good while in no way replacing what the manga
Seriously, if you have not watched this, and if you're an anime fan and you've not watched this series yet, highly recommend.
has done.
This video is almost over.
these-
I feel like I didn't actually react too much to this. Like, I didn't really have much to say other than agreeing with this guy, which is kind of refreshing because my last couple react videos, I felt like I was like disagreeing with the people, but great anime. And this guy did sum up that basically this is Chainsaw
12
Man.
episodes live up to the insane hype people said it would reach? No. But we already knew that, so the real question is, when the hell are we going to get more of it?
Oh, please.
Oh god, Denji, please stop! His descendants are already dead!
Have you guys seen Chainsaw Man? Let me know in the comments. What was your favorite scene in it? Try not to give any spoilers, or I guess better yet, give spoilers in the comments below because I've seen it and f everybody else. But if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, my suggestion would be don't scroll down to the comments. But let me know what your favorite scene was. Let me know who your favorite character was. Let me know how excited you are for season 2. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, peace out, everybody. Smash that subscribe button. Later, nerds.